This is a story of brutality and revenge. The video I did on Geronimo received a lot of attention. It now has over 1 million views. And I think a lot of people were surprised by the fact that it was the Mexican army that had killed Geronimo's family, and that Geronimo had such hatred for the Mexican people. For the next 30 years, Geronimo sought to avenge his family. But this cycle of violence and hate started some 250 years earlier. In the early 1600s, the Spanish attempted to settle the Southwest, and in doing so, they sought to subdue the Apache. If you know anything about the Apache, you know they are fiercely independent. The Apache were also not a unified tribe. There were several different bands, and they all operated independently. Spanish brutality only escalated Apache violence. These blood feuds were incredibly brutal and last for over 200 years. When Mexico wins its independence in 1821, the violence only escalates. In 1833, the Mexican government sought to exterminate the Apache. They would go so far as to hire mercenaries to murder and kill Apache people. Bounties were placed on Apache men, women, and children. The Mexican government even hired Indian killers like John J. Johnson and James Kirker to kill and murder the Apache people. To show proof of death, the Mexican officials wanted to see the severed ears of Apaches who had been killed. The psychopathic Indian killer John J. Johnson presented a scalp with the ears attached. From that point forward, scalps were used as proof of death. Contrary to popular belief, the Apache did not scalp the dead. With bounties declared, killing Apaches became a lucrative business. Any captured Apache would be sold into slavery. These mercenaries turned killing into an art form, and Apache scalps were their trophies. After John J. Johnson murdered the Apache chief Juan Compa, a new Apache leader would emerge. His name was Fuerte, also known as Mangus Coloratus. Uniting several Apache bands, they sought vengeance. Mexican officials again hired James Kirker to deal with the Apache problem. Peace talks between the Apache and Mexican officials in the town of Galeana turned into an act of betrayal. After the peace talks ended, Kirker and his men slaughtered 130 Apache people. They would scalp every single one of them. They even celebrated their atrocities in Chihuahua City. Catholic priests would adorn the entrance into the church with Apache scalps. Obviously, the Apache are going to retaliate. Mangus Coloratus unites all the Chiricahua Apache bands. Mangus, Cochise, Geronimo, and Black Knife, they all come together. In 1846, they attacked the town of Galeana. It's considered to be one of the greatest Apache victories. The Apaches nearly destroyed the entire town. The blood feuds between the Apache and the Mexicans would continue for years. Geronimo, all the way up until his death, talked openly about his hatred for Mexico.